There's a strange, almost painful truth buried beneath the laughter Richard Cheech, Marin, and Tommy Chong gave the world. 0:077 seconds. For decades, we saw them as the ultimate stoner duo. Fearless, 0:1212 seconds. Hilarious, and untouchable. But behind the smoke-filled jokes was a journey shaped by fear, exile, rejection, and a 0:2020 seconds partnership that often came close to collapse. Their story wasn't built on ease. It was built on survival, on 0:2828 seconds, men running in opposite directions from the lives they never wanted, only to collide in a place neither expected. 0:3636 seconds. What they created together changed comedy forever. But the path that led them there was far darker and far more unbelievable than most people realize. 0:4646 seconds. And once you know what really happened before the fame, the laughter feels different. The chaotic collision that should never have happened long before they became icons. Richard Cheech, 0:5757 seconds. Marin, and Tommy Chong were two men searching for escape. Each from a completely different nightmare. Cheech 1:041 minute, for seconds grew up in South Los Angeles, raised by a police officer father in a world where discipline overshadowed creativity. By 1:121 minute, 12 seconds his early 20s, he wasn't chasing comedy or fame. He was studying pottery at California State University, Northridge, 1:201 minute, 20 seconds imagining a quiet life surrounded by clay, not chaos. But the late 1960s made 1:271 minute, 27 seconds quiet dreams nearly impossible. The Vietnam War draft haunted every young man's future. And Cheech, who deeply opposed the war, found himself cornered. 1:381 minute, 38 seconds staying meant risking everything. 1:401 minute, 40 seconds leaving meant abandoning everything he knew. In the end, fear made the choice for him. He fled to Canada, not because 1:481 minute, 48 seconds of adventure or rebellion, but because he didn't want to die in a war he didn't believe in. While Cheech was running 1:551 minute, 55 seconds from being forced into violence, Tommy Chong was experiencing the opposite. Chong, born in Edmonton, Alberta to a 2:032 minutes, 3 seconds Chinese father and a Scottish-Irish mother, grew up surrounded by music, 2:072 minutes, 7 seconds clubs, and the unpredictable rhythm of show business. By the late 60s, he had already tasted fame as a guitarist with 2:152 minutes, 15 seconds Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers, a Madone-signed band poised for success. 2:212 minutes, 21 seconds. But music faded, the band dissolved, and Chong found himself back in Vancouver searching for a new direction. That 2:292 minutes, 29 seconds direction appeared in the strangest possible form, a topless bar his family owned called the Shanghai Junk. Chong 2:382 minutes, 38 seconds saw that customers weren't paying attention to the dancers. So, he added an improvisational comedy troupe to the strip show, mixing nudity with theater. 2:472 minutes, 47 seconds in a way no one had tried before. It was into this world, half nightclub, half chaotic theater, that Cheech wandered in 2:552 minutes, 55 seconds 1970, looking for any job that could help him survive as a draft dodger. When the two men first saw each other, 3:033 minutes, 3 seconds, it wasn't friendship, magic, or recognition. It was confusion. 3:093 minutes, 9 seconds, two strangers from opposite lives staring at each other as if asking, 3:143 minutes, 14 seconds, what are you? No one watching them in that moment could have imagined that their unlikely collision would rewrite 3:213 minutes, 21 seconds comedy history, but the world was about to shift. 3:263 minutes, 26 seconds, the accidental spark that turned strangers into a duo. 3:313 minutes, 31 seconds, the moment Cheech joined Chong's bizarre improvisational troupe inside the Shanghai Junk strip bar, something. 3:383 minutes, 38 seconds shifted slowly, awkwardly, and not at all in the way legends usually begin. Chong already had a group of actors, 3:473 minutes, 47 seconds, dancers, and drifters who performed short sketches between strip routines. 3:523 minutes, 52 seconds, the environment was chaotic, but strangely alive. Che, meanwhile, was simply desperate for work. He wasn't 4:004 minutes trying to be funny. He was trying to stay fed and stay hidden. But when Chong introduced him to the troupe, something happened that neither man expected. For 0:94 minutes, 9 seconds, their improv style was wild and free, built on instinct rather than scripts. For 1:54 minutes, 15 seconds, Chong, who had recently seen Second City, and the committee pushed everyone to experiment with no formal comedy. 4:2 24 minutes, 22 seconds background, slipped into this rhythm like he had been waiting for it without knowing. Their first spark didn't happen on purpose. It happened because they 4:3 14 minutes, 31 seconds were both comfortable being uncomfortable. 4:3 44 minutes, 34 seconds one night during a performance, they slipped into a loose routine about a guy looking for his friend Dave. Neither of them planned it. Neither of them 4:4 34 minutes, 43 seconds rehearsed it. But when Cheech kept repeating, "Dave's not here," the audience erupted. In that accidental moment, the foundation of their career 4:5 24 minutes, 52 seconds was born. They didn't understand what they had yet, but they felt it. The chemistry wasn't built on friendship or even trust. It was built on contrast. 5:0 25 minutes, 2 seconds. Chong was mellow, mystical, almost floating. Cheech was sharp, fast, tense, 5:0 75 minutes, 7 seconds, and electric. Their personalities collided like two mismatched notes, 5:1 25 minutes, 12 seconds, somehow creating harmony. But this harmony came at a cost. Both men were dealing with private pressures that shaped their work. Cheech lived in fear 5:205 minutes, 20 seconds of being caught and dragged back to the US to face prison. Chong carried the weight of a failing music career and the pressure of keeping his family's 5:285 minutes, 28 seconds business alive. Fame, friction, and the love-hate bond that nearly destroyed them. As Cheech and Chong's reputation 5:375 minutes, 37 seconds began to spread through Vancouver and across the US, their partnership grew stronger on stage, but far more fragile 5:455 minutes, 45 seconds behind the scenes. What fans never saw was that the duo's connection was never built on deep friendship. Cheech would 5:535 minutes, 53 seconds later say, "We're brothers. We're not best friends." 5:585 minutes, 58 seconds. That wasn't a sweet metaphor. It was an admission of the emotional strain that defined their working relationship. They argued constantly, sometimes viciously, 6:0 76 minutes, 7 seconds, and over everything, characters, jokes, 6:106 minutes, 10 seconds, scheduling, credit, and especially creative control. 6:146 minutes, 14 seconds. Chong, who naturally drifted toward leadership roles, believed himself to be the conceptual architect of their projects. Che, who contributed just as much to the writing and comedic rhythm, 6:266 minutes, 26 seconds, often felt pushed aside. When they began making films, this tension intensified. 6:336 minutes, 33 seconds. Tommy directed 4 out of their 6 feature movies between 1978 and 1984, 6:396 minutes, 39 seconds, something Cheech later called a very touchy thing. It wasn't just a credit issue. It was about power, identity, and recognition. 6:506 minutes, 50 seconds on stage, none of this showed. They could fight for hours backstage and then walk out and deliver a flawless performance that made audiences roar. 6:596 minutes, 59 seconds. Their tension became the fuel that drove their comedy. Che once compared their dynamic to an oyster forming a pearl. 7:0 77 minutes, 7 seconds. Irritation turned into beauty under pressure, but that pressure was slowly crushing them. Touring made everything 7:157 minutes, 15 seconds worse. In the 1970s, Cheech and Chong performed more than 300 days a year, 7:227 minutes, 22 seconds, living out of suitcases, recording new material on the road and improvising jokes in cars, hotels, and dressing 7:307 minutes, 30 seconds rooms. They looked like carefree stoners on stage, but off stage they were exhausted, overworked, and ironically 7:387 minutes, 38 seconds health-obsessed. While their fans imagined them high 24/7, the truth was they spent most of their free time at YMCA gyms in every city, exercising, 7:497 minutes, 49 seconds, trying to survive the brutal schedule. 7:517 minutes, 51 seconds. As their fame exploded with Grammy nominations, chart-topping albums, and sold-out shows, the cracks widened. Chong 7:597 minutes, 59 seconds became protective of the duo's image and direction, while Cheech yearned for more creative freedom. The more successful 8:078 minutes, 7 seconds they became, the deeper their resentment grew. 8:118 minutes, 11 seconds. By the early 1980s, the partnership that had once felt accidental and magical was turning into something heavy, 8:188 minutes, 18 seconds, suffocating and unsustainable. 8:2 18 minutes, 21 seconds the breakup nobody saw coming, and the silence that followed. 8:2 68 minutes, 26 seconds by the time the early 1980s arrived, the tension between Cheech and Chong, once just background noise to their 8:3 38 minutes, 33 seconds creativity, had turned into a force powerful enough to pull them apart. 8:3 88 minutes, 38 seconds their partnership had always walked a fragile line. But the breaking point came quietly, almost anticlimactically 8:4 68 minutes, 46 seconds during the making of Nice Dreams in 1981. That film, like many of their projects, 8:5 28 minutes, 52 seconds was built on a thin script, just 3.5 pages, and a mountain of improvisation and storyboard gag work. 9:009 minutes. While the process looked chaotic from the outside, it was actually carefully controlled, and that control 9:079 minutes, 7 seconds increasingly fell to Chong. Cheech felt himself becoming a side character in the very duo he helped build. Chong 9:159 minutes, 15 seconds wanted to direct everything, write everything, shape everything. What used to feel like collaboration now felt like 9:29 minutes, 22 seconds possession. And while both men kept performing as if nothing was wrong, the quiet resentment was growing into something irreversible. 9:3 19 minutes, 31 seconds. The final fracture came in 1985 when Cheech presented a project he believed could refresh their brand, a song called 9:409 minutes, 40 seconds born in East LA. He wanted Chong to help record it and turn it into their next comedic venture, but Chong refused. 9:499 minutes, 49 seconds. Maybe he didn't see Cheech's vision, or maybe he feared that a project led by Cheech would shift their power dynamic. 9:569 minutes, 56 seconds. Whatever the reason, his refusal cut deeper than either man admitted at the time. For Cheech, it wasn't just a no. 10:0510 minutes, 5 seconds. It was a moment of clarity. If the partnership couldn't bend, it would have to break. Cheech went solo. He produced 10:13 10 minutes, 13 seconds born in East LA without Chong. And ironically, the project became both a commercial and critical success. It affirmed something he had long 10:21 10 minutes, 21 seconds suspected. He didn't need the duo to succeed, but success didn't soften the emotional blow. The breakup wasn't 10:29 10 minutes, 29 seconds explosive. There were no dramatic public statements or fights. Instead, there was silence. Years of it. Chong later 10:39 10 minutes, 39 seconds reflected on that period with something close to regret, admitting that his hunger for control had blinded him. 10:46 10 minutes, 46 seconds. Meanwhile, Cheech spent the next decade building a new identity, acting in Nash Bridges, branching into voice acting, 10:54 10 minutes, 54 seconds, and becoming one of the most recognizable Choco entertainers in America. Chong drifted into activism, 11:0111 minutes, 1 second small roles, and eventually infamously into a federal prison cell for selling glass pipes. A moment that revealed the 11:0911 minutes, 9 seconds darker consequences of the counterculture they once championed. 11:15 11 minutes, 15 seconds. The breakup hurt both of them, not because they lost a friend, but because they lost the one person who understood the world they built and the world they 11:23 11 minutes, 23 seconds escaped from reinvention, isolation, and the strange turns their lives took. 11:30 11 minutes, 30 seconds after their split, the world assumed Cheech and Chong had simply drifted into separate creative paths. But the 11:37 11 minutes, 37 seconds truth was far messier, heavier, and filled with unexpected reinventions that shaped who they became. Cheech Marine, 11:46 11 minutes, 46 seconds suddenly on his own after nearly 17 years of being defined as half of a duo, 11:52 11 minutes, 52 seconds faced a terrifying question. Who am I without Chong? For years, audiences had only known him as the fast-talking, 12:0212 minutes, 2 seconds streetwise stoner. But Cheech had far more range than people realized. Slowly he carved out a legitimate acting 12:10 12 minutes, 10 seconds career. His role as Joe Dominguez on Nash Bridges helped him reinvent himself as a mainstream television actor. And in 12:19 12 minutes, 19 seconds the world of animation, where his voice could escape the stereotypes that had boxed him in. He found unexpected success. Disney cast him as Bonsai in 12:28 12 minutes, 28 seconds The Lion King, followed by Ramon in Cars and roles in films like Fern Gully. Yet the triumphs didn't erase the quiet 12:36 12 minutes, 36 seconds melancholy beneath his success. Cheech was proud of his achievements, proud of becoming one of the most respected Choco 12:43 12 minutes, 43 seconds entertainers in America. But he was also carrying the unspoken weight of being misunderstood. 12:50 12 minutes, 50 seconds. The world still saw him through a cloud of smoke, laughing at a persona that no longer matched the man he had grown into. 12:59 12 minutes, 59 seconds. Tommy Chong's journey was even more unpredictable. 13:03 minutes, 3 seconds. While Cheech entered Hollywood's mainstream, Chong drifted toward activism and counterculture advocacy. He 13:10 13 minutes, 10 seconds played the lovable stoner Leo on That 70s Show. But behind the scenes, he was battling something darker. In 2003, he 13:19 13 minutes, 19 seconds was arrested and sentenced to federal prison for selling glass pipes, an event that felt surreal even to him. The US 13:27 13 minutes, 27 seconds. Government made him a symbol, targeting him not for violence or harm, but for representing the very drug culture. The 13:34 13 minutes, 34 seconds. Authorities wanted to stamp out. During his incarceration, Chong confronted loneliness, regret, and the fading echo. 13:42 13 minutes, 42 seconds of the fame he once enjoyed. When he emerged and documented the experience in the film aka Tommy Chong, he revealed a 13:51 13 minutes, 51 seconds sobering truth. Their comedy had once felt harmless, but now it had become a political battleground he never intended to fight on. Even in their separation, 14:02 minutes, 2 seconds. Both men carried the shadow of the duo they once were. Their success was real, 14:07 minutes, 7 seconds. But it came with the haunting sense that something unfinished lingered between them. A bond built on conflict, talent, 14:15 14 minutes, 15 seconds, and an era that had changed forever. The myths, secrets, and strange truths no one expected. 14:23 14 minutes, 23 seconds long.